Can I please have your full name?
Uh, Hello, my name is Che Bin-seo, but my English name is Katie.
Okay, nice to meet you, Katie. Okay, let's start on a positive note, happy things. Do you think people are happy when they buy new things?
Uh, I'm not really sure I 100% agree with that because some people actually buy things because they want other things in their life to be fulfilled. For instance, I tend to want to buy something when I feel lonely, but when I meet my friends, I don't really feel like I want to buy that thing. So I think if they really enjoy the general shopping experience, they could they could enjoy shopping. But if they want something else, but they just can't have it, they could just shop for that.
Okay. Do you feel happy when you're buying new things personally?
Oh, I actually do feel happy because, well, for me, I always use things for a really long time. For instance, I have a shirt that I wore when I was in about middle school or elementary school. So I use things a really long time, so I don't get many opportunities to buy new things. So if I do get to buy new things, I'm really happy.
Okay. When do you feel happy at work or in your studies?
Uh, I'm currently a university student and I currently work also part time. So I'll briefly tell you both. So when I study, my major is English language and literature. So I feel very happy when I study with foreign professors and get to talk what I feel or get some group projects about, speaking English and certain parts. There's uh, there's a class called Business Conversation at my school, and I really enjoyed that. And for my study, I love studying English, and I love studying English by listening short documentaries on YouTube.
Okay, excellent. What do you think will make you feel happy in the future?
I think getting to know myself better would make me really happy in the future because right now I'm in my 20s, and when you're in your 20s, you say that it's the time when you wander the most, in Korea. So now I'm still getting to know myself, and I know that I work hard for my English skills, but the other things that I'm not sure about myself makes me anxious. So it would be really nice and happy and assuring to know what I am good or bad at some things.
Okay. What made you happy when you were little?
Oh, when I was little, I loved watching fish. So when I could go to the aquarium in Seoul with my parents, it made me really happy. And even at, the place where you could get some sushi, there's some fishes there that you could see outside. And I really liked looking at them too. So my parents told me, "Oh, Katie, you always looked at the fish for like an hour or so because you were so into it." So I felt really happy. I actually still feel really happy when I look at them.
Okay. Last thing, what made you feel happy recently?
Recently, oh, I made a reservation with my friend that lives in Seoul. She actually works near here. So after this conversation, I'm going to meet her and actually have lunch with her. And I made a reservation to meet her next week to go to a Seoul illustration fair. So it's basically like an art convention. So I feel really happy about that to meet my friend.
Okay, awesome stuff. Yeah, let's move on to part two. So I'm gonna ask you to please describe something you did in your work or your studies that made you feel confident. Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah, are you ready?
Okay.
You may start.
So you said describe something that I did in my study or work that made me feel confident, right? So since my major is English, I'll talk about what made me feel confident when I was studying English. So when I was in middle school, I wanted to go to the major that I am studying now. So English was my major that I wanted to go since when I was a little. So I started studying English on my own at home. So it happened mostly in my room, and I would watch uh, just a lot of English YouTube videos. Like if I would watch a gaming channel, I would watch an English speaking person playing the game, or if I would watch a short documentary about something I would like, I would watch it in English. And I also watched some TED Talks, which is also on YouTube, which is free. And I recorded myself speaking to myself in the mirror because, well, I didn't have any foreign friends. I still don't, but I wish I had. And I also just talked to myself in English, and I also read some English books out loud. So that's how I studied. And it made me feel confident because, well, the first few years I felt I was just going around and around. I didn't know what I was doing or what I was doing well, or was this even working? Because normally if you study English, you go to an academy or hire a foreigner. But I studied English at home by myself, and I didn't have anyone to talk to, so I recorded myself and just listened to it. So at first, I wasn't really confident about it, but when a few years passed, I could see myself more and more
It's okay, we can
confident.
stop.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent so far. We actually went far over the 2 minutes. Your story was very interesting. So in the real exam, they would have cut you off at 2 minutes, but that's not a negative thing. So don't worry about it. We're talking about confidence, what makes people feel confident. Why do you think so many people lack confidence nowadays?
I think since I'm Korean, I'll speak in terms of a person living in Korea. I think people are really pushing the limits of younger generations because the older generations really worked hard to make Korea this really rich and famous country. So they think that, oh, since we made this country, we built this country like this, the younger generation should work just as hard as we did. But the circumstances changed, and there's more requirements to do to get a job or get a house. So my generation, for example, feels they really lack skill even though they study really hard to get a home or a job. So I think it's a generational problem.
Do you think that children of confident parents also become confident adults?
I'm actually a little debative about that question because at one part, I do think parents being confident about themselves can affect children in a good way, but also my parents are very confident, but personally, I think they're too confident in a way that affects other people. For instance, they could be a little too rude. So I try to be a little more polite. So sometimes I feel like I lack confidence because my parents are too confident. So I think there's two parts of that answer to that question.
Okay. What could teachers do to make studying more interesting and to boost their students' confidence?
I think since Korea is having less and less kids, and schools are getting more and more smaller students at one classes, I think teachers should focus on more of the students' students' liking, like what they like, how they feel when they're studying, or what they're confident at. So maybe one-on-one teaching could be a good idea, or maybe something like getting to know the student more instead of making them studying. So I think self-knowing is very important to making the student confident, because as I said earlier, I would feel confident if I would know myself better.
Okay. How can a person become more confident in general?
In general, I think studying and doing a lot of things, getting over your boundaries could really help, because I said I'm doing my part-time job. So I teach adults how to speak English at Saturday. And at first, I wasn't really confident about that. I was really scared and, anxious. And so I had really a lot of debates of whether I should do this or maybe I should just stay at home. But as I started doing it, I knew that, I can teach how to speak English really good to people. So I felt really confident about myself. So getting out of your confidence zone, your boundaries, I think it's important to try new stuff.
What has worked the best for you to make your students feel more confident?
Oh, I try to give them a lot of motivation, and as this test does, I actually make some questions that they can answer and send them to it prior the class so they can prepare their answers. And if they can't speak it in English, I could speak it for them. And I try to find every student's strong point.
Okay. I'm going to stop it here. I've heard everything I needed to. Okay, so we judge you based on 4 different criteria. It would be fluency, vocab, grammar, and pronunciation. So, long story short, I would give you 8.5. 8.5 band score. The reason for that is your pronunciation. You sound like a gyopo. Like you sound like you've lived abroad for a very long time. So your accent, everything is super clear, super easy to follow really well. Grammar-wise, I tried to find mistakes, but really there wasn't much. There's not a lot I can tell you. Like there's here and there's maybe something. If I had to rewatch the video 3 times, I might catch something else. But the things that you say and the mistakes that you make are like kind of native speaker mistakes. So that sounds very natural as well, like a structure thing here or there. So that's good. You can tell your students this is an example of how to be one day. Your vocab is excellent and your fluency has absolutely no issues either. So the reason why I'm giving you 8.5, not 9, is probably just because you didn't come here prepared. I think if you prepared, if you spent 1 or 2 weeks just going over the structure that we want you to talk in for IELTS, I think you could easily get a 9. So considering you came in off the street, the way you spoke, that's an 8.5. That was really well done. And I think anybody watching this is a great example of how to speak. And I think the pacing of your answers is really good. I think a lot of students in the beginning, they don't know how to speak quickly or slowly. They're kind of struggling with that pacing thing, especially in the IELTS speaking test. I think if you speak too quickly, you kind of fall over your own feet. So I always tell them to slow down a bit. And I think your way of speaking is a really excellent example, like calm, cool, no rushing. I think it's a good thing for students to see if they're aiming to get a high score. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure.